this is an Epiphone Blues Deluxe 3P90s. I put the Bigsby on myself, and I love it. It's a lot of fun to play. It plays really nice. I don't think they make them anymore, which is a shame. I think this is like maybe an early '90s, but it sounds great. It's a lot of fun to play. I get a lot of compliments on it.
It kind of looks like, it looks like the same sort of, the Gretsch and some of those, like the Harmony Rocket kind of thing.
Kind of. It's modeled after an ES5.
When do you play that? What sort of sound do you get out of it?
I play that with my country band pretty well. It's not my country band anymore, but the country band that I used to play with. That was my main act. It's got a great twang to it. It's pretty flexible. I can get a nice smooth sound, or I can get a lot of bite out of it. That P90. My favorite position were these two together, and it sounds really pretty.
Now, one thing, every time I see F-holes, I say, when you're playing it, did it feedback? What kind of feedback?
Well, I was playing country, so it
wasn't loud.
It was clean, yeah, no distortion or anything. But it was nice and responsive, which helps a lot when you are playing clean.
Now, I've ragged on Epiphones a lot, especially some of the acoustic ones. I mean, what makes this different from a lot of them? Because a lot of stuff they put out, let's face it, hasn't been fantastic.
Yeah, I think for me, I changed out the tuners. Usually, I've had a couple of Epiphones before, and I'll change out all the electronics and the tuners, and it's usually that does the trick. So these are Grovers, and aside from now, I haven't pulled this out of the case in probably about 6 months. But with the Grovers and even with the Bigsby on it, this thing stays. I like to keep fresh strings on it. I change my strings before every show, and this thing will stay in tune all night. I'll never have to go to the tuner.
Which is a fantastic thing.
Oh yeah. And I bend a lot, and I use this thing. This isn't a dive bond vibrato, but it's I'll do that kind of thing a lot. I do that kind of thing, and it'll stay in tune all night. And it does need to have the pots replaced. I think that's where the problems that with the electrics for Epiphone, you're going to run into that problem too. Is that they're nice bodies with just kind of lower quality parts on them. If you can replace the parts, you get a pretty decent guitar.
Which is kind of not a bad thing, because if you think about it, I mean, really replacing some of the hardware and some of that stuff really isn't that expensive.
No, not at all. Yeah, not at all. If you want to get the pickups, it can be. But it's kind of fun to pick and choose your pickups as it is.
And you don't worry about buying some really expensive guitar and then changing the pickups and you just destroy the value.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I'll drill holes in this thing. I do stuff like that all the time. That's why I don't buy nice guitars. That's why I have a house full of junk. Because I like to take things apart.